It's Queen Osaharu, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask An Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's really disturbing to me. Lately, I've been getting a lot of messages from people, and this has happened throughout Ask An Aquarius since I started it, but lately it's been really more frequent. I've been getting messages from people who are saying to me things like, well, my boyfriend disrespects me. What should I do? Or my girlfriend doesn't, tell me the truth. She's not honest with me. She makes up stories. What should I do? A lot of people are coming to me with situations where they're clearly being abused. Clearly, they're being emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually abused. Some of them all of those things, and some of them just one of those things. And they're coming to me like, what should I do? You don't even have to ask me, what should you do? If you're in a situation where you're being abused, disrespected, taken advantage of, lied to, hurt, harmed in any way, I am always going to tell you the same thing. My advice is not going to change. You might as well not even ask me the question, because it's always the same. Get away from that person. I don't care who it is. If it is somebody who is abusing you, mistreating you, yelling at you, not validating your feelings, whatever is going on, get away from that person, because two things are happening. Number one, you're in a toxic situation, and that toxic situation is not going to do anything but make your life worse. Number two, you're damaging your heart chakra. You're causing whatever trauma, whatever wounds that are going on, that hits you right in the heart. And afterwards, you have to heal all those wounds. Okay? So my thing to you is that if you're with somebody who is not affirming you, who is not loving you, who is not committed to you, and I'm not saying that you're going to have these perfect lovers that are going to come out of nowhere and sweep you off your feet, but you should have a person that respects you and who honors you and who speaks to you like you are precious to them. Okay, if you're with somebody and they're talking nasty to you, they're gaslighting you, they're acting like your concerns are not valid, they're talking down to you. If you're with anybody who's talking to you, that's verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. If you're with somebody who's trying to tear you down, if you're with somebody who doesn't tell you how beautiful you are, somebody who doesn't really love you, is what's happening here. Some of you that have been writing me are with people who don't care about you. And it's obvious they don't care about you by their behavior. You know it and I know it. And then you write me and say, okay, this person is doing X. What should I do? Run. What do you mean, what should I do? Run. Get away from them. If you've identified this person, and some people I think are just in denial that they're being abused. So I can understand that, because those kinds of people take a little while to really understand and get it and get away. But some people know they're being abused but are unwilling to escape. They're scared to escape. They're scared to get away from the person. And in a lot of cases, it's not even just fear of the person. It's fear of what will I do without that person. But if somebody's abusing you, you don't need them. You can do bad by yourself. You can abuse yourself. You don't need no help to abuse you. And then some people will say, well, I don't want to give up on them. If they're abusing you, an abuser keeps abusing. So if you want to be in a relationship with this person, you need to tell them, go get yourself healthy and holler at me when you're better. You can't be in a relationship with somebody who's sick. If somebody's sick on any level, especially mentally and emotionally, you can't be with them. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how many, because some people come to me and be like, oh, this person's my twin flame. This person's my soulmate. First of all, they're probably not. They're probably not your twin flame. It could be your soulmate, because it's a lot of soulmate energies on the planet. So it could be one of your soulmates. I'll give you that. But even if somebody is a soulmate, if they're abusing you, they're not a life partner. They're a life lesson. So they've come to teach you this lesson and move the hell on. So the lesson you should be getting is what not to accept from a partner. Get that lesson from your soulmate and move on, because guess what? That means you're not going to be with that soulmate. Every soulmate does not come to be a life partner. And a lot of people got this really twisted. I don't know where people getting their information from, because y'all know I research. I do my research. And I've read about twin flames, and I've read about soulmates, and I've read about karmic relationships. I even did a video on this topic. And still people come to me and say, I think he's my twin flame. You're not even in your last incarnation. How is he your twin flame? You're supposed to be in your last incarnation when you meet your twin flame. A lot of people are nowhere near their last incarnation, and we know this because they haven't learned half of the life lessons in this life that they needed to get. So we already know that they're not at that space. Another thing, your twin flame is supposed to be a good relationship, not somebody who's abusing you and disrespecting you and lying to you and sleeping with your friends and cheating on you and beating you. And that's not a twin flame. A twin flame wouldn't do that. A twin flame might put you through some drama. They might run. They might not want to be in the relationship. They might be a little confused. Something like that might happen. But those abuses are never done by a twin flame. So if you're being abused by a soulmate. That is a soulmate karmic energy. And that person can be either negative or positive. Soulmates can be either or. Twin flames are always positive. It's always a positive relationship, even though you might have had some running back and forth in the beginning. A lot of twin flames run from you. They're scared, and then they come back. But they're never abusive. Those are soulmates. Soulmates can be abusive because what they're supposed to do is teach you what not to take from another person. So if your soulmate is abusive, then that's a soulmate that's a life lesson, not a life partner. Okay? Your soulmate can also be positive and be a life partner. But if they're abusing you, then they're not. And if you want to be with this person, the only way is for them to go get help to change their behavior and then from a healthy space come back. Because if you're accepting abuse, neither one of you are healthy. The abuser is not healthy. The abuser is crazy. And the abused person is not healthy because they have a codependency 9 times out of 10 with their abuser. So if you're allowing yourself to be abused, there's a part of you that's broken. There's a part of you that is probably been abused before 9 times out of 10. Most people that let their lover abuse them have some other kind of trauma inside of them that was already present. So there's something in your heart chakra that is unhealed. So if you're allowing yourself to be abused, drop the abuser. Don't date nobody else because you'll manifest another abuser. Drop the abuser and go heal yourself. Go heal what was inside of you that allowed this to be okay, because it's not okay. And I get so many messages from people and they're like, well, he did this, but no. He abused me, but is basically what they're saying. And right after it, they'll make an excuse. Well, he punched me in my eye, but I was yelling at him. Huh? Or he slept with my mom, but I wasn't giving him enough affection. So that's your excuse? Seriously? That's okay with you? And I'm hearing things like this. Maybe not the mom, but it's like the sister, the cousin, the best friend. And they give me this excuse. Well, I didn't pay him enough attention. So if you're being abused, especially if you're being abused and making excuses for it, you're in a really bad place. You don't need to date nobody. You need to stop dating and get yourself together. So this is what I want to tell you. Before you send me a letter at Ask An Aquarius, if you have identified yourself as being abused, you can send the letter. I'll read it anyway. But I want you to realize what I'm going to tell you. You are being abused and you need to move on. If you're being disrespected, you need to move on. Even if you want to be with somebody, like somebody said to me, this is the person I really want to be with. And I'm like, okay, then that person needs to go get healthy so they can be with you. That person has to want to be with you as strongly as you want to be with them. And if they don't, then you have no relationship. You have some form of a codependency. That's the only thing it could possibly be. You're needy, some part of you is needy, and you're trying to get this person to fulfill that need, but they're not fulfilling it. They're using you 9 times out of 10 to fulfill their own needs. Okay? So my thing to you, if you're a man, if you're a woman, I don't care what you are. If you're in a straight relationship, a gay relationship, this happens to everybody. I see this across the board. I see this with people, little puppy love. I see this all the time. If somebody's treating you badly, stop fucking with them. It's a very easy conversation. If they're talking down to you, if they're being negative, if they're doing things that you despise, if they're making you feel bad about yourself, stop fucking with them. Okay? You have to cut the ties and leave them alone. Stop messing with them. Stop praying for them. Stop calling them. Stop emailing them. Cut the ties and move on. Anything that is meant for you will come back to you. Trust me, if that person goes to therapy and gets healthy and they're meant for you, that person will find you. Goddess will usher them back to your doorstep. But holding on to somebody that you care about that clearly doesn't care about you is bad business. Okay? I hope that helps. Please think about what I said.